Tries Most High, my Niji. As first and foremost, I'd like to thank all of my subscribers for subscribing to my channel. If you're new to my channel, do subscribe, like, and share my videos. Alright, so I'm going to get into this, and it's going to be very short. I'm probably going to keep this about 7 or 8 minutes, give or take. So I've been doing a little more research, digging a little bit deeper. And I've been looking a lot into more ancient writings from the Emerald Tablets and also the Amarna Tablets as well. Now, I know when one mentions anything about the Emerald Tablets or the Amarna Tablets, anything that has to do with the ancient Egyptian or ancient Atlantean records or Sumerian records, people tend to get a little scared. But you have to look at all records. You can't be biased against certain records because you don't want to read something because that version of events have been tainted. Well, the tablets are the only tablets that are untainted, but no one really reads them. So they're actually more preserved in their integrity than anything, because no one looks at them. The Amarna tablets are very ancient. They come from this side of the Americas, okay? The Amarna tablets are written in the original ancient cuneiform, not in the Atlantean Egyptian hieroglyphs. It's the ancient cuneiform, the very first of hieroglyphic writings. That is the ancient cuneiform. And in reading these tablets, you have to go beyond Exodus, before Exodus, okay? Everything that most Ivri people, which is Hebrew, people only know up to Abraham and up until Exodus. But no one goes before that. The Amarna tablets do go before that. Now, all is aware that Hebrew or Ivri was not the original name of the people. That was a name that came later. And like I said, I'm only going to go into this a little bit. If y'all want me to go further in detail, then I would like y'all to let me know in the comments. And those of you who have my email me. And I will individually explain it. But a lot of people probably won't understand this. But Ivri is the latter term of the chosen people. But there was a sect before that. That of the same family, okay? Not different, just the original. You have to go beyond Abraham. Who exactly was Abraham's father? See, Peleg was Abraham's father, and before that you have Shem. But you have to go even beyond Shem. Everything has a beginning, okay? Hapiru or Hapiri still means, because Hapiru or Hapiru literally means Hawa's chosen. So the Hapiru people or the Hapiri people were well known, and they knew, and everyone knew who they were, that they were of a divine origin, a divine bloodline, that they were chosen. So they had very high esteem. At one point before Abraham, they were more nomadic and didn't have a set geographical location. Okay? It wasn't set prior to Abraham. The Israelites or the Ivri, which is Hebrew, come from the same family. But prior to Exodus, you have to overstand. You have to acknowledge something. A lot of the Habiri people, or the Habiru, Habiru mean plural for all. Habiru is individual. A lot of the Habirus did not choose to leave because they still had high esteem. Not all of the Habiru people were in so-called bondage. Okay, the younger ones were kind of born into it because some things were perpetuated, and yes, the plagues did hit, but the kings already knew who they were, and a lot of them were already telling those who were in charge to let them go, release them. Those who wanted to be released, allow them to go. But some of the Habiru people chose to stay. So when you have Joseph and his exodus leading out of Egypt or Atlantis, that is where you get your sect that chose to keep the bloodline pure. That is when you start to lead up to Abraham's line, which switches from Habiru to Ivri, which is Hebrew. That is when you go to the Israelites, becoming the children of Israel. And that is when you start to get into the 12 tribes. But the Habiru is before that. You have to go beyond Exodus. What happened before Exodus? Like I said, the original name of the Ivri people was not Ivri. It was not Hebrew. Hapiru, Habiru. All those names were originally used, but up until a certain point in time, the name Habiru or Habiru disappears from ancient historical records. But that is when Ivri comes into existence of the latter term from the same family. Still a chosen seed, the same family. But you have to understand and go back before that. So you have to understand, not all of the ancient ones of Atlantis or ancient Egypt were bad. You have to understand, a lot of them mixed in with the Habiru people, which would, yes, were the Atlantean fallen angels or angels who chose to go below the firmament. You have to understand, if you're cast out, you get stripped of everything. Obviously, they were not stripped of everything. If you look at the Emerald tablets and the Amarna tablets and other ancient tablets from that time that people don't read anymore or choose not to read because of the demonization that has been given to Thoth and those like him, he was referred to as a priest king. So for one to be referred to as a priest king, he was anointed and chosen to begin with. Thoth is not fully bad. You have to understand that, or overstand. You have to acknowledge that. But you have to also understand, you need to get both sides of the story, not just one. Because if you only get one side of a story, you're going to have a biased view. You have to have an unbiased view if you want to look and find out what happened in the past. You have to have an unbiased view of everything. You have to get both sides. And in this case, you have to get the full story. The Amarna tablets tell you everything before the Exodus, and it also fills in the blanks that you don't fully get after Exodus. And I looked for any discrepancies and I couldn't find any. It is straightforward. It is what it is. It doesn't demonize anything. It straight up tells everything that happened. It goes into the Canaanites asking their Egyptian overlords for help when they were being, basically invaded in a sense, because obviously the Canaanites settled in Kanaan, a land they were not supposed to be to begin with. But the kings were asking for help from their Egyptian overlords. And the Egyptian overlords, the Atlantean overlords, did not help them. Hence, Kanaan was fallen back into the Habiru people. It fell to the Habiru people, the Ivri people. Okay, it tells that Kanaan was kicked out because their Egyptian overlords did not help them. Okay? So that tells you right there that the Egyptian overlords were not all bad. If they were, they would have helped them. They didn't. They chose not to help them. They chose not to send them help. But like I said, I made this a little longer than I wanted to. But if you want me to go more into detail about this, prior to Exodus, prior to Abraham, prior to Shem, all in the same family, okay, but I do have the information on this subject and how it goes back further. You have to get the beginning before you just get the middle. Because if you just get the middle, you miss a lot of things. You have to get the beginning. But again, if y'all want me to go into further detail about it, just message me in the comments. Those of you who have my email, do email me. And like I said, depending on the response I get from this video, I will choose to go into further detail. But other than that, I just want to let you know what the original name of the Ivri was before it was Ivri. It was Hapiru or Apiru or Habiru. The interchange is between a B and a P. So it could be Apiri, Hapiri, Habiru, or Abiri. Either way it goes, try us most high, my need you.